This thing in the morning I met. No, about a second. At 70 years old, Kevin Costner is making headlines again. And this time, it's not for a blockbuster role or a courtroom drama. After years of breakups, scandals, and Hollywood rumors, the Oscar-winning actor might finally be off the market again. So who's the woman catching his heart now? And how did we get here after decades of drama? Stick around, because we're diving into the wild love life of Kevin Costner. Early life. Kevin Costner was born on January 18, 1955, in Linwood, California, and grew up in a nearby city called Compton. His family lived a modest life. His father, William Costner, was an electrician who later worked as a utility executive, and his mother, Sharon Ray, was a welfare worker. Kevin was the youngest of 3 boys, though one of his brothers died at birth. The Costner family moved around a lot due to his father's job, which meant Kevin had to adjust to different schools and neighborhoods often. This helped shape his personality early on, teaching him how to adapt quickly and interact with all kinds of people. As a child, Costner wasn't especially interested in academics. Instead, he enjoyed sports, writing poetry, and playing piano. He also developed a love for storytelling, though he didn't immediately see himself pursuing acting. That dream came a bit later in life. After graduating from high school, he enrolled at California State University, Fullerton, where he studied marketing and finance. During college, he started taking acting classes and performing in a few plays. It was then that he discovered his passion for the craft of acting. Even though he earned a degree in business in 1978, he knew his heart was in performance. After college, Costner briefly worked in marketing, but soon decided to follow his dreams. He took acting lessons seriously, and even worked various odd jobs to support himself while trying to break into Hollywood. He worked on fishing boats, drove trucks, and even did carpentry. His first film appearance came in 1981 with a small role in a movie called Sizzle Beach, USA. Though the film didn't gain much attention, it marked the beginning of his acting career. Kevin's first few years in Hollywood were filled with minor roles and small parts. He had a bit part in The Big Chill, but his scenes were cut from the final version of the film. Even though he didn't appear on screen, the film's director, Lawrence Kasdan, remembered Costner's performance and promised to cast him again someday. That promise would change Costner's life. In 1985, Costner finally caught a break when he was cast in Silverado, a Western directed by Lawrence Kasdan. This film gave Costner his first major exposure. He played Jake, a playful and skilled gunslinger, and his charm and energy stood out. The movie became a cult favorite, and audiences began to take notice of this fresh face in Hollywood. 2 years later, in 1987, Costner's career skyrocketed with his role in The Untouchables. Directed by Brian De Palma, this crime drama cast him as Elliot Ness, a federal agent trying to take down notorious gangster Al Capone. With a strong cast that included Robert De Niro and Sean Connery, the film was a hit. Costner's calm confidence and strong screen presence helped him stand out, even among Hollywood heavyweights. It was a major turning point. After The Untouchables, Kevin Costner became a name people recognized. Then came Bull Durham in 1988, a romantic sports comedy where Costner played a veteran baseball player named Crash Davis. The movie was a critical and commercial success. His performance, paired with Susan Sarandon's, showed a new side of Costner, one that was charming, relaxed, and effortlessly cool. Audiences loved it. Critics praised him. He was no longer just an actor with potential. He was now one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. The following year, Costner starred in Field of Dreams, a film that quickly became a beloved classic. He played Ray Kinsella, a farmer who builds a baseball field in his cornfield after hearing a mysterious voice. The movie blended fantasy and emotion in a way that struck a chord with millions. Costner's gentle yet powerful performance made the story feel real and heartfelt. His role in Field of Dreams helped solidify his reputation as an actor who could play relatable, grounded characters with sincerity. By the end of the 1980s, Kevin Costner was not just a leading man. He was a symbol of classic Hollywood charm. His tall build, all-American looks, and deep voice made him a natural fit for heroic roles. This period marked his rise to stardom. In just a few years, he went from struggling actor to Hollywood A-lister. He was often compared to screen legends like Gary Cooper or James Stewart, actors known for their quiet authority and strong moral compass. Magazines featured him, talk shows invited him, and studios wanted him. As the 1990s approached, Kevin Costner wasn't just a movie star. He was a full-blown heartthrob and a leading man in every sense. And soon, his personal life would start getting just as much attention as his career. College sweetheart and first wife. Before Kevin Costner became one of Hollywood's biggest stars, he was just a regular college student trying to find his way. It was during his time at California State University, Fullerton, that he met Cindy Silva, a woman who would play a huge role in his early life and career. Cindy was also a student at Cal State Fullerton, studying biology. She was smart, kind, and well-liked by everyone who knew her. She and Kevin met in the mid-1970s and quickly became inseparable. Cindy and Kevin started dating seriously during college, and their relationship moved quickly. They were both young, ambitious, and full of dreams. Kevin was beginning to explore acting while Cindy was focused on her studies and later worked at Disneyland, playing Snow White. She was known for her gentle personality and classic beauty, perfect for the role. Cindy didn't just dress up as a princess at work. She also supported Kevin like a true partner. When he decided to pursue acting full-time, she stood by him without hesitation. In 1978, the couple got married. They were both 23 years old. At that time, Kevin wasn't a star yet. In fact, he was still working different jobs and trying to break into the film industry. The early years of their marriage were filled with struggle and uncertainty. Money was tight, auditions were few, and success was still a distant dream. But through it all, Cindy remained patient and supportive. She believed in Kevin's talent and was willing to help him chase his goals, no matter how long it took. Cindy's support never wavered, even as Kevin slowly began to land acting roles. When his career finally started to take off in the mid-1980s, she was right there beside him. As Kevin became more famous, Cindy continued to play the role of the devoted wife, staying mostly out of the spotlight, but showing up at red carpet events and award shows to support him. Many people admired their relationship, especially during a time when celebrity marriages often didn't last. Kevin and Cindy seemed different. They looked like a strong team, grounded and deeply connected. One of the most memorable moments in Kevin's career was the release of Dances with Wolves in 1990. Not only did he star in the film, but he also directed and produced it. The movie became a huge success, winning 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. It was a defining moment for Kevin, and Cindy was there for all of it. She walked the red carpet with him, cheered him on from the audience, and celebrated his triumph as if it were her own. To the public, they appeared to be the perfect Hollywood couple, successful, loyal, and grounded. But behind the scenes, things were starting to change. As Kevin's fame grew, so did the pressure on their marriage. He was often away filming, surrounded by the glamour of the movie business, and constantly meeting new people. The travel and long working hours began to take a toll. Around this time, rumors began to surface about Kevin being involved in on-set affairs with co-stars and other women in the industry. The tabloids were especially active during the filming of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in 1991, and Waterworld in 1995. Although nothing was ever confirmed publicly, the gossip created tension and made it harder for the couple to stay united. Cindy, who had always stayed out of the limelight, suddenly found herself caught in a media storm. Being the wife of a major movie star came with challenges, and the constant speculation and attention became overwhelming. The trust in their marriage was tested, and by the early 1990s, things had reached a breaking point. In 1994, Kevin and Cindy officially announced their divorce after 16 years of marriage. The news made headlines across the country. Fans were shocked, and the media had a field day with the story. What made the situation even more talked about was the financial settlement. Cindy reportedly received an $80 million divorce settlement, making it one of the most expensive celebrity divorces at the time. While both of them tried to keep the details private, the split was clearly difficult for them both. After the divorce, Kevin admitted in interviews that balancing fame, career, and family life wasn't easy. He said that he never stopped loving Cindy, and that their marriage ended because of the pressures that came with his success. For her part, Cindy kept a low profile and focused on raising their 3 children, Annie, Lily, and Joe. Their breakup marked the end of what many considered one of the most genuine Hollywood marriages of its time. While the marriage didn't last, it was clear that Cindy had been a huge part of Kevin's life and his journey to success. She stood by him when he was a struggling actor and supported him through his biggest wins. Next up, things start heating up with some famous flings, a secret child, and a wild ride through Kevin's bachelor years. You don't want to miss it. Bridget Rooney. After Kevin Costner's high-profile divorce from his college sweetheart and first wife, Cindy Silva, in 1994, he stepped into a new chapter of his life, one that was full of attention, headlines, and romantic speculation. He was one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, with a clean-cut, all-American image and major box office power. With Cindy no longer in the picture, the media and fans were curious to see who Kevin would date next. This period in Costner's life, which stretched across the mid to late 90s and early 2000s, was marked by a series of romances, short-lived flings, and tabloid-fueled rumors. Whether he was truly dating some of these women or not, his name was constantly in gossip columns, keeping his love life just as visible as his acting career. One of Kevin Costner's most well-documented relationships after his divorce was with Bridget Rooney. She came from a prominent and wealthy family. She's part of the Rooney family, which owns the Pittsburgh Steelers NFL team. Bridget was more than just a socialite, though. She had charm and poise and moved comfortably in high society circles. In 1996, Bridget and Kevin were romantically linked. The relationship didn't last long, but it made big headlines for one major reason. Bridget gave birth to a son named Liam in 1996, and Kevin was the father. At first, Kevin did not publicly acknowledge Liam as his child. There were reports that he requested a paternity test, and after it confirmed that he was Liam's biological father, he accepted full financial responsibility. While Kevin didn't raise Liam in a full-time hands-on way, like his children with Cindy, he did set up a trust fund for him and made sure he was cared for financially. This situation brought a lot of media attention. For the first time, Kevin's romantic decisions had long-term consequences in the public eye. It also started a pattern. While Kevin remained very private about his personal relationships, they almost always ended up under the spotlight. Though his relationship with Bridget didn't last, the two reportedly remained on polite terms, focusing on what was best for their son. Elle Macpherson. Later in 1996, Kevin was linked to Elle Macpherson, the famous Australian supermodel known as The Body. Elle was one of the biggest names in modeling at the time, with several Sports Illustrated covers and a successful acting career beginning to take shape. The two were seen together at red carpet events, restaurants, and even on vacations, which caused a buzz in both the fashion and entertainment worlds. This pairing seemed like the classic Hollywood power couple, a leading man and a glamorous supermodel. The tabloids went wild, publishing stories about their supposed jet-set lifestyle, their luxurious getaways, and their chemistry. Although they never confirmed their relationship in interviews, the photos and public appearances told most of the story. Ella and Kevin reportedly dated for a short while, but it didn't turn into anything long-term. Still, for a few months, they were one of the most talked-about couples in Hollywood. Halle Berry. One of the most intriguing rumors from Kevin Costner's bachelor years involved Halle Berry, one of the most respected and admired actresses of her time. The rumors started circulating in the late 1990s, when both Kevin and Halle were experiencing major moments in their careers. At the time, Halle Berry had already starred in several hit films and was on her way to becoming an Oscar-winning actress. Kevin, although less dominant at the box office than in the early 90s, still held major star power. The idea of these two dating was enough to get the media talking. However, there was never any confirmation that Halle and Kevin were truly a couple. The rumors seemed to start based on their appearances at a few of the same events and vague insider reports. Some magazines published articles hinting that they had gone on quiet dinner dates and were getting to know each other, but neither of them ever spoke publicly about it. Fans of both stars were curious about the match, and for a while it became a hot topic online and in celebrity gossip columns. In the end, nothing substantial came of the rumors, but it showed how eager the public was to link Costner to any beautiful, successful woman he crossed paths with. Courtney Cox. Another big name that was linked to Kevin Costner was Courtney Cox, the Friends star who was rising fast in fame during the mid-1990s. At the time, Friends was one of the most watched shows on television, and Courtney was known for her role as Monica Geller. Rumors of a romance between Costner and Cox began to spread in the late 90s. As with many of the dating rumors in this era, the speculation seemed to be based on the two being spotted at a few of the same events, combined with the fact that they were both single and hugely famous. Some outlets suggested they went on a few dates or were exploring a relationship quietly. However, like with the Halle Berry rumors, there was never a confirmation. Neither Kevin nor Courtney commented publicly on the reports, and over time, the story faded away. Still, the idea of these two dating was appealing to fans, and the headlines stayed in circulation long enough to keep people interested. Tawny Little One relationship that did have more substance during Kevin's post-divorce years was with Tawny Little. She wasn't just any celebrity. Tawny was Miss America, 1976, and also a successful television news anchor. By the late 1990s, she had become well known in the Los Angeles media world and had also been linked to other famous men before meeting Kevin. Kevin and Tawny reportedly dated during the late 1990s. They were seen at multiple public events together, including charity galas and Hollywood premieres. Unlike some of his rumored romances, this one was more visible and acknowledged, even if they both kept it fairly private. Tawny brought a different energy to Kevin's life. She wasn't part of the Hollywood film scene in the same way as the actresses and models he had been linked to before. Their relationship was seen by some as more grounded, perhaps more serious. But again, it didn't last long. The media covered their romance with interest, especially because Tawny had a strong public image of her own. When the two eventually split, it didn't cause as much of a stir as his earlier relationships, but it added to the pattern of Kevin being unable or perhaps unwilling to settle down again after his divorce. This phase of his life was full of excitement, mystery, and a constant stream of speculation. It was the classic bachelor era that many celebrities go through after a long-term relationship ends. And for someone like Kevin Costner, who had millions of fans and a calm, confident presence that many admired, every new connection or sighting felt like a possible new chapter. But just when it looked like he might stay a bachelor forever, someone unexpected walked into his life and changed the story again. Stick around to meet the woman who finally got him to say, "I do a second time." The second marriage. After spending nearly a decade in the spotlight, As one of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors, Kevin Costner eventually met the woman who would become his second wife, Christine Baumgartner. Their relationship was quite different from his past romances. It was longer, more private, and for many years, it looked like it would be the one that truly lasted. Kevin Costner and Christine Baumgartner met in the late 1990s, not long after his whirlwind bachelor phase. At the time, Christine was a former model who was also studying business and design. She was 20 years younger than Kevin, which caught the attention of the media as soon as their relationship became public. Age gap relationships weren't uncommon in Hollywood, but a 2-decade difference always made headlines, especially when the man involved was someone as high-profile as Costner. Despite the age difference, the two had a lot in common. Christine was calm, confident, and not easily distracted by fame. She reportedly caught Kevin's eye years earlier when they met on a golf course, but they didn't begin dating seriously until later. At that point, Kevin was focused on raising his kids from his first marriage and figuring out what he wanted from life after fame, fatherhood, and divorce. Christine, meanwhile, was figuring out her career and what she wanted in a partner. What drew them together was their shared love for nature, family, and a quieter life away from the Hollywood chaos. Still, despite their strong connection, the relationship wasn't always smooth. Like many couples, Kevin and Christine faced challenges before deciding to fully commit. One of their biggest disagreements early on was about starting a family. Christine wanted children while Kevin was unsure. He already had 4 kids from previous relationships and felt hesitant about becoming a father again in his 50s. This led to a breakup that lasted several months. During this time apart, Kevin realized he didn't want to lose Christine over something that could be talked through. He later admitted in interviews that he had to face his fears and make a choice. Eventually, they reconciled, and things moved forward quickly after that. The couple got married in September 2004 on Kevin's 165-acre ranch in Aspen, Colorado. The wedding was a private, beautiful event with close family and friends in attendance. It marked a turning point in Kevin's personal life. He wasn't just the leading man on screen anymore. He was also a husband, and soon a father again. After tying the knot, Kevin and Christine started a new chapter as a family. They had 3 children together, 2 sons, Caden and Hayes, and a daughter, Grace. Despite his previous hesitation about fatherhood, Kevin embraced being a dad in his later years. He often spoke about how much he loved spending time with his kids and how different but equally rewarding parenting was the second time around. Christine also began to step into a new role. Though she had worked as a model in the past, she later started her own handbag line called Cat Bag Couture. The brand focused on stylish and functional handbags, and Christine poured her creativity and business knowledge into making it a success. It wasn't a massive global brand, but it gave her an independent identity outside of being known as Kevin Costner's wife. The couple chose to live a quieter life in Colorado, away from the constant noise of Los Angeles and Hollywood. Kevin continued to act and direct, taking on roles like Man of Steel, and most famously in recent years, Yellowstone, where he played rancher John Dutton. Christine largely stayed out of the spotlight, focusing on family, work, and community life. Their Colorado home became their retreat, a place for peace, privacy, and raising their children. For nearly 20 years, everything looked solid from the outside. The public saw Kevin and Christine at award shows, red carpets, and charity events, always smiling and appearing as a strong unit. But then came a surprise that few saw coming. A high-profile divorce. In May 2023, news broke that Christine had filed for divorce from Kevin Costner. The announcement came during the peak of Yellowstone's popularity, when Kevin was once again one of the most talked-about names in television. The timing shocked fans and media alike. Christine cited irreconcilable differences, and from there, things quickly became complicated. What started as a quiet filing soon turned into a very public and contentious legal battle. Reports revealed that a prenuptial agreement was in place, but Christine contested parts of it, leading to months of back and forth in court. One of the major points of disagreement was child support, specifically the amount that Kevin would pay to help maintain their children's lifestyle. The case drew massive media attention. TMZ and other outlets published regular updates, including details about financial documents, court statements, and even photos of Christine moving out of their Colorado estate. The press focused heavily on every detail, from their housing dispute to the cost of Christine's legal fees. Kevin's team insisted that the prenup be enforced, while Christine's lawyers pushed back, suggesting that her client needed more to continue providing the same level of care and comfort for their children. The battle got heated, and for a while, it seemed to overshadow everything else in Kevin's life. In the end, the couple reached a settlement, but the divorce made it clear how much their relationship had changed. After nearly 2 decades together, it was a painful public separation that left fans surprised and the media swirling with speculation. Kevin mostly stayed quiet in public statements, while Christine returned to focusing on her children and business. The breakup of Kevin and Christine marked the end of what had once seemed like his most stable and lasting relationship, but it wouldn't be long before headlines started linking him to someone new again. Stay tuned, because things are just starting to heat up. Recent dating buzz. After his very public divorce from Christine Baumgartner in 2023, Kevin Costner found himself single once again. At 68 years old, the Hollywood star was back in the spotlight, not just for his hit TV series Yellowstone, but also because of a surprising new rumor that had fans and the media buzzing. Shortly after his split, Kevin was linked to a new possible love interest. Singer-songwriter Jewel. In late 2023, paparazzi photos surfaced, showing Kevin Costner and Jewel spending time together in the Caribbean. The two were spotted attending a charity event on Richard Branson's private island, Necker Island. The event, known for attracting celebrities and philanthropists, was low-key and focused on fundraising for various causes. But when Kevin and Jewel were seen together, the internet lit up. The photos showed them laughing, sitting close, and appearing relaxed in each other's company. Jewel, known for her soulful music and down-to-earth personality, seemed like an unexpected match for Kevin. However, the pairing sparked a lot of interest. Social media was full of comments and reactions, with fans curious if this was just a friendly moment or the start of a new relationship. Reports followed quickly. Some outlets claimed the two had chemistry during the trip. Others mentioned they had been spending time together privately, away from the cameras. Neither Kevin nor Jewel made any public statements confirming or denying the relationship, which only added to the speculation. Insiders close to both stars described their bond as new and comfortable, but still developing. Jewel, who also has a child from a previous relationship, has always kept her personal life fairly private, much like Kevin, especially in his more recent years. Their shared values around family, privacy, and living a quieter life away from the chaos of Hollywood seem to give the rumors some weight. At this point, there is no official confirmation of a romance. They haven't walked any red carpets together or spoken about each other in interviews. But their time on Necker Island definitely raised eyebrows and opened the door to new dating buzz around Costner. So is this just a vacation friendship or the beginning of something more serious? Only time will tell. But if history is any guide, Kevin Costner's love life is always full of surprises, and the cameras will be watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. We've got more Hollywood stories coming your way.